Good morning, my last question. Just want to tell you guys a couple of things that was on my mind. I woke up this morning. I was feeling. I wanted to let you guys know that this is a process. You can't just give up. You're gonna hear your mind's gonna tell you things that are bad, that you can't, or that this stuff. But think of it like this: when people say, "I'm going to diet," they stay on the diet for like 3 or 4 days, and then they quit because they didn't lose 50 pounds. Well, that makes no sense. If you're going to do something, make sure you do it for a longer time. Now, here's the issue with that I'm seeing. When you do something, anytime you do something, if you're doing it with a good attitude and you want to do that, you keep with it. When you have a negative thought of it and you fall to the negativeness, you stop doing it. So that's why I keep telling people, you always find the funny, find the good, find something good about it. Like I tell JJ all the time, I say, don't look at yesterday when it was hard to walk. Look at the fact that you did walk yesterday. Or that you might have took a half a step and the day before you took a full step, but you still took a half. That's still a half step is still better than no steps. See, that's what people's problem is. If somebody goes on the street and they find $1, they'll be happy, but they'll think, well, man, what could this be at 20? Well, why don't you just be happy with the $1? Because that's more than $1. That's $1 more than you had before that moment. That's how you have to look at MS. So when you do, see, this is the issue. I put up all these videos on how I dealt with balancing. Now, let me tell you. I took what the therapist told me, and I made it easier for us to, or for me to do at home, because I'm not rich. I don't have $1 million like a couple people we know that can get all these CCSVIs and stem cells and best therapy. I can't. I mean, I'm not saying I can't. Sorry. And I'm not going to do that. For one, I'm not going to waste that kind of money. I have a son. But I try to make it to where people who don't have access to that kind of stuff. I was lucky enough to get great therapy, but I took the therapy that I learned and I made it to where you can do it at home. And then I catered it to what I deal with. Now that's the point. I deal with, not what you deal with. I deal with. That's why I tell people, look at what you deal with and deal with it your way. Because see, I don't know your body. No one does that video you see, like Dr. Well with her diet. I mean, it's great diet, but she made the foundation for what you should do. And see, I took Dr. Well's diet and I fit it for me. And that's what I'm telling you to do. So take, the exercises that you see, anything, and walk and stand there and go, okay, this muscle does this, and that's what I mean. But do it with a good attitude, then you want to stay with it. I know people want to walk and all this. Look, you gotta crawl before you walk. You gotta lay before you crawl. That's how it is. You've gotta go through night to get through day. Simple as that. If you want to get higher, you have to climb. You don't just, you're there. People, you gotta understand, it's like, it's a process to get to the point of health. But just because we didn't see the process it took, the negative process to get us to where you are now, but get to the point where you want to be. But do it with a positive attitude. Because remember, those who give up are the ones who are, guys never work. Don't say that. Don't say never. Never say never. That's all I'm saying. It's just always say I'm going to, and see yourself doing it. Because you want to walk, you want to do this. So am I crazy by saying this? Well, you know what? I'll tell you this. For me, I was in a bed 3 years ago. In a bed, could not move that someone wiping my butt. Crazy as that sounds, embarrassing as that is. I was in a wheelchair. When I decided to walk, I told my hospice nurse, I said, get rid of the wheelchair, I never want to see that again. I never once got back into my wheelchair. I took my walker, and I walked out of their house, the hospice was a house, and I was like, I'm going to do this. And I walked down the street and I fell in the middle of the street, well, the side of the street really. and I had cars pass me by because I'm a 5'10", 250 pound Puerto Rican. Nobody wants to get in. It could be a ploy, whatever. They're scared, whatever. I'm just saying. Life is not been without its bumps in my case, so I know it's going to be even hard for you in your case. But if it's not great for you, don't hate on the people who did it. Just do it yourself. That's the point. And stop worrying about what they do. Who are they anyway? Stop worrying about them. Stop comparing yourself to somebody else's negativeness. Don't compare yourself even to somebody's goodness. Don't compare yourself to my walking. I tell Jackie all the time, I said, don't compare your health and what you go through to what I'm doing. Just because I can walk 6-7 miles now does not mean you're not going to be able to. It's a process. I'm just further along in my process. So I'm telling her to get further along in her process. So I'm asking you, people, get further along in your process, and you'll start to see the little wins that you need to be looking at that keep you positive in what you need to do. But don't give up. Stay strong. Stay blessed. Remember, visit our site. Visit the website. The boards. Everything. We're trying to send as much info as we can. Much love. The MS Depression. Mad love. Bless you guys. Stay up.